Bill Lee, who is the chief economist at the Milken Institute and the former managing director of Citigroup, joins us now. Bill, nice to see you.
Thanks for having me, Kristi.
Now, this new economic era is here. Months ago, it seemed improbable that most countries would accept Trump's terms and accept his tariffs. So how did he do this?
I think President Trump has been trying to reshape the international trading regime by convincing everyone that if you can't have trade in goods, you can substitute with trade in factors of production like capital, and you get the same benefits of gains from trade. So what he's trying to tell everyone is, be a partner with the U.S., invest in the United States, put your capital here, create jobs, and you'll gain through higher profits, and your country will gain with higher income. And if you choose to compete with the United States, you'll face a high tariff wall. So that's the basic principle behind all of these tariffs. And I think President Trump has been saying to the world, open up your markets so that we can all benefit from increased trade. And the non-tariff barriers are really the issues that he really wants to focus on that are more severe than the tariffs themselves. So President Trump has managed to get everyone on board because this sounds like a good deal. You either partner with us or you compete with us and face tariffs.
Yeah, he used forceful rhetoric, open deadlines, also targeted pressure on entire sectors. But how effective will these tariffs be? You know, the U.S. and the Trump administration, they have stated quite clearly from the beginning their objectives, including and not limited to bringing manufacturing back to America and also encouraging foreign investment in strategic sectors like semiconductors, like chip manufacturing. Will that happen as a result of these tariffs?
Well, we heard in the press conference with Tim Cook today that there was a lot of commitments from many countries and many companies to produce high-tech products here in the United States. Now, a lot of people say, well, these are commitments, and you never know what people actually come up with, and it's going to take several years for these commitments to show up, and then by then, President Trump will be out of office. And people are very doubtful about whether that will happen or not. I think President Trump, in saying, in fact, in talking about the semiconductor tariff, said you get 100% tariff, or you produce here and you get zero tariffs. And by the way, if you decide not to invest here over the next several years, and there's no evidence that you're really sincere in your commitments, I'm going to charge you for all the tariff arrears that you didn't pay all these years. So I think President Trump is really threatening to be very forceful in enforcing the commitments. And I think a lot of countries actually will commit because capital flows into the United States because the capital earns the highest returns in the country that has the greatest innovations. And the United States has proven that it is an innovation center vis-a-vis the rest of the world.
Yeah, but there are some special cases, you know, that are resisting the pressure. I'm thinking about India. You know, talks have broken down. Yes. There's a 25% tariff for buying Russian energy on top of 25% tariffs. You know, trade volume between the U.S. and India had been surging, but India is resisting here. What could be the economic fallout?
Well, that's right. There are some special cases like India and Switzerland where several of the sectors actually are exempt from tariffs. So India, for example, high-tech goods and pharmaceuticals are exempt from those tariffs. And one of the unfortunate things about President Trump is that he's used a lot of tariff policies to achieve non-economic goals. And he loves tariffs so much that he keeps using tariffs. And in a way, that's diffused the power of these tariffs to effectively induce the behavior that he wants, which is to partner with the U.S. and invest in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, for Donald Trump, tariffs are a lever. It's a way for him to have leverage on the geopolitical stage. Bill, I also want to ask you about Brazil. Brazil also facing 50% Trump tariffs. Brazil's president is speaking out. He says talking to Trump would be a, quote, humiliation. You know, what could we see next? Could we see retaliatory tariffs from Brazil? How could this play out?
I think President Trump has been using these tariffs to achieve these non-economic goals and to try to change behavior. In the case of Brazil, one of the behaviors he pointed to very explicitly was the behavior of trying to displace the role of the dollar in international transactions. The BRIC countries have been trying to create a currency of their own. And President Trump says, look, the dollar is the medium of exchange for the world. It is the most efficient medium of exchange, and you need to stay with the dollar. So he's trying to incentivize that behavior. And so I think the use of tariffs for these non-political, non-economic purposes, these political purposes, as I said, diffuses the power of tariffs. And I think, in my mind, that's using tariffs to accomplish too many goals. The theorem in economics is if you have a policy goal, you have one tool to meet that goal. If you use that one tool to meet several goals, you're going to miss out on a lot of them.
Bill Lee, we thank you for your wisdom and for joining us at this very critical juncture in global trade. Thank you very much and take care.
Thanks for having me.